So hi friends, I'm back with my series on DPDP Act 2023. Please note that this is not a legal advice and should only be used for reference and educational purposes. So what is the DPDP Act 2023 mentions about consent withdrawal? It reads that where consent given by data principal is the basis of processing of personal data, such data principal shall have the right to withdraw consent at any time, with the ease of doing so being comparable to the ease with which the consent was given. So the Act gives a very important right to the data principal, the right to withdraw consent, and that too at any time after giving the consent. It also says that withdrawal should be easy as it was when the data principal had given the consent. It should not be made complex. To give you an example, say a user gives consent to receive marketing emails while signing up for a fitness app. Now the user wants to withdraw the consent. So the user has to go to the settings section, go to the privacy tab, and then click on unsubscribe from marketing emails. So this process took a few seconds and does not require multiple steps. Another example where withdrawal of consent was made complex. So a user signs up for an online magazine and consents to data processing for personalized recommendation. When the user wants to withdraw the consent, they should write an application and an email to the customer service, to the company's customer service, and wait for several days to get a response, and then go through a series of complex process involving forms and confirmations. Definitely friends, this is not an easy process of withdrawal of consent. It is complex. It is violating the right given to the data principal regarding the ease of withdrawal principle. Now, what does the Act say about the consequences of withdrawal? It says that the consequences of withdrawal shall be borne by the data principal, and such withdrawal shall not affect the legality of processing of personal data based on consent before its withdrawal. So what does this provision mean? This provision means that if the data principal, that is this particular individual, withdraws the consent for the processing of personal data, then it is the data principal who will bear the consequences that arise from such withdrawal. For example, if they stop consenting to data collection for a service, then the data principal might lose access to certain features or services. The Act further says that such withdrawal of consent shall not affect the legality of processing of the personal data based on consent before its withdrawal. So it says that even though the data principal has withdrawn consent, any processing that took place before the withdrawal remains legal and valid. The withdrawal only applies going forward and does not invalidate the past processing which is based on the prior consent. So we have already covered this particular slide which mentioned that what are the consequences of withdrawal, which is to be borne by the data principal, but it should not affect the legality of processing of personal data which was based on consent which was given before the withdrawal. So this is a particular example of consent withdrawal which is given by the Act. Here it mentions that X is an individual who is the user of an online shopping app or a website operated by Y, an e-commerce service provider. Now X consents to the processing of her personal data by Y for the purpose of fulfilling her supply order and places an order for the supply of goods while making payment for the same. Now here if X withdraws the consent, then Y may stop enabling X to use the app or website for placing any further orders. But now whatever order has been placed cannot be stopped and has to be processed by Y. So friends, this series was on withdrawal of consent. Do like, do subscribe, do share my channel across. Thank you.